and welcome back to the Soar Hire podcast, a show for leaders by leaders that's focused on providing business and career advice, tools, and resources to help people achieve higher levels of success in their life. I'm your host, Coach Jason Ballard, and it's such a pleasure to be with you today. We've got another great episode in store for you. We're going to be exploring New Year's resolutions, why some of those works, why most of them don't, and what you can do to kick off your new year, 2023, with a bang. Today, we have one of my favorite guests is back on the show, Rob Johnson from Wayne Media and Speakeasy Podcast Network. Rob, welcome back, buddy.
Well, hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's a great day, great time of year, fun, festive season.
Oh yeah.
You looking forward to the holidays?
I am. It's kind of one of the two times during the season, Thanksgiving and Christmas, where it's kind of a forced slowdown, which is nice. So it's always a nice break because I know that typically 95% of my clients are also going to be on break as well. So it's nice.
Yeah, this is the time of year, I think you're in the same boat as myself, where you start getting emails that say, hey, we're doing X and Y and Z, or we're going to Granny's house tomorrow. We'll have to catch up next week. Or you start getting a lot of those kind of emails, people wanting to postpone or reschedule, which is nice because it frees you up to enjoy some time yourself.
Absolutely.
So now you've got some younger kids, man. Are they getting excited? They getting their Santa wish list together?
They are. So my daughter specifically, she's 8. She every year for the last, I think 3 years since she's gotten into kind of math and counting down and all of that stuff, since she was probably like 4 or 5, she makes her own calendar for how many days there are until Christmas. And every day she will quiz me on how many days are left, and then she will tell me how I was wrong. So I always look forward to that around this time of year. So they're both, my son's a little bit younger, but he's 5. So they're both excited though. They love the snow, the holidays. Like they're all about it. They don't care about cold weather or anything like that. They're all about winter.
That's right. That sounds like fun, man. You know, it doesn't matter how old your kids are. They still get excited about Christmas and the holiday season. You know, I got a 19-year-old that's in college, just came back, and we're asking her about Christmas stuff. And boom, she plops out this like automated PowerPoint presentation with blinky lights and all the stuff she wants with pictures, links to the websites. I mean, she gets really, really into it. My youngest, who's 14, did a very similar thing as well. So, it doesn't matter if you're, the brink of adulthood or kids that are, younger like yours, man, they get jacked up. Everybody's excited.
Yeah, it's a crazy time of the year for sure, especially if you're in the parent bucket and you're like, all right, now I have to action all of these PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, it sure is, man. Trying to go out there, and it's hard, as a parent, because it's hard to find everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
If your kids want certain things that's kind of off the beaten path kind of stuff, some fancy video game or something, it's hard to find stuff. It's even hard to find, like their favorite clothes and sizes that fit. We were in there looking for shoes the other day, man, and we just couldn't find all the right sizes. It's with things, being post-COVID, we haven't really fully recovered out of the logistics and supply chain things. Man, you got to be on your game and ordering stuff on Amazon way in advance to make sure, all their dreams come true on Christmas Day, right?
Yeah, typically December 1st is when the last time I'll order from Amazon, expecting it to get here before Christmas. So
yeah, awesome. Well, it's so great to have you on the show, man. We always just have so much fun, have some really great conversations. And today, we're going to be talking about New Year's resolutions. You and I were talking about this offline here recently, and some of your perspectives of the folks that you work with and in your circles as well as mine. And so let's kind of dig into this. I think it's a perfect time of year for people to hear some good advice, to hear some of the good things, the bad things,
Yeah.
and help them set them up for success and expectations for the new year.
Yeah. What's interesting about resolutions is it's a really interesting psychological experiment, if you will. And it's the one time per year where everyone in almost a mass fashion ignores the trends of what they would do if they're trying to establish a proper habit. So instead of just waking up and being like, you know what, I'm done smoking, I'm done drinking, whatever it is, I want to lose weight. Instead of just waking up and being over it and saying, I'm just going to get started on this today, we all wait for one particular day where it's like, you know what? This magical calendar turning the year over is what's going to solve my problems, not my own will and determination. So we focus on this one particular day as if it's magical. And what's funny is within the first week of the new year, 25% of resolutions fail within the first 7 days. So, and then by the end of the year, only 8% of people statistically, and there's several different polls out there, so you can probably find some that are higher or lower, but the biggest study that I've been able to find is 92% of resolutions fail. So only 8% of people make it across the finish line. And you have to ask, well, why is that? And I think a big reason is because people focus so much more on the ceremony of a new year rather than the actual strategy of having a a meaningful goal and how to execute behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think there's like an expectation out there, like, oh, it's Christmas time. Everybody goes and buys Christmas presents at Christmas time. Everybody puts up a Christmas tree at Christmas time. Everybody hangs lights. Everybody does
Yeah.
whatever dinners and has family over. And there's like in America, there's this kind of picture of what that is. In that, everybody goes out and buys presents, right? At Valentine's Day, everybody goes out and buys cards and candy and flowers and does the traditional things, right? And that's just
Yeah.
what's expected. Well, at the turn of the new year, it's just expected that you're going to go to the gym, you're going to start reading books, you're going to start doing something new, something different. You're going to take pictures, put it on Facebook or whatever social platform that you may be on, and you start talking about it and visualizing it and putting it out there, and you're going along with the herd, going along with everybody else, because that's what everybody's supposed to be doing. That's just the norm. And for most, as you statistically highlighted, it doesn't go very far. It's like a
Yeah.
fad. It's a trend. It comes and goes, and people get busy, and life happens, and here we go again. You gain the weight back. You do go back to your old habits, and you make promises you can't keep, and you do it all over again the next year.
Yeah. What I find interesting is the correlation between businesses that fail and New Year's resolutions that fail. Granted, resolutions fail much quicker because there's less at stake, but I think the reasons behind both are eerily similar. And what I mean by that is, to your point, everyone has this very group think. We're all in it together on the first, right? Everyone posts their goals and all their friends are pumped up and behind them. But then when you get farther into it, when you're driving home late at night and you haven't eaten and it's like, oh, well, there's McDonald's. I guess, all of those people on Facebook are no longer in the car with you. So this is where that now matters, right? So that's the same thing with business, right? When you announce on Facebook, hey, I'm going to start a business or I'm going to do this or that, everyone's always pumped up and in your corner. But when it's 2 a.m. and you're 10,000 off from making payroll and you're ready to give up, those people on Facebook are not in your corner. So perhaps that group should not be the motivational factor that you use to power through hard times.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about expectations, and in the world we live in today, it's instant gratification. It's feeling like I need to do something or put something out there that it gives people the impression we're doing all the right things, and
Yeah.
the expectations aren't really thought through. it's more reactive than anything else. And so when you're
Yeah.
thinking about New Year's resolutions, I think for a lot of people, it's about a feeling. They say you buy things based off more of a feeling of how that makes you feel. Like you go out and you buy a brand new car, Rob, all you really need is four wheels and an engine to get you from point A to point B in theory, right? But why do some
Right.
people pick a Porsche? Why do some people pick a truck? Why do some people pick an SUV? And why do some people pick, a sedan, right?
Yeah.
Why? It's about how they feel. It's how the car makes them feel. It's like when they're driving home in a brand new car, they feel like they've accomplished something. They feel like they've, done something in life that is an accomplishment. I mean, do you see those kind of things yourself?
I do, because largely everyone has a similar approach to these things, and to your point, what's underpinning a lot of these things are a lack of answering the question why. Well, why do I need a vehicle that's 60,000 compared to 40,000? Like, granted, like if you want to look cool at the stoplight, like that's fine, but that's probably not a practical reason for it. But I think a lot of people just don't put a lot of thought into the why. One of my favorite authors, his name is John Acuff. He gives a breakdown into goal setting. And he says all great goals are composed of four things: results, action, time, and motivation.
Hmm.
So if you break that down, results, what do you want to happen? Action, how are you going to execute? Time, when is this going to happen by? And motivation is the most interesting one, because that is what are you going to use to power through the hard times. And if you can answer those four things, you're in pretty good shape. But most people, they just say they're going to do something, but they don't really put any thought or effort behind it, other than just, well, I'm going to go to the gym to lose weight. It's like, okay, is that it? That's not going to work at all. Like
Nope.
it's, you have to think about the logical conclusion to what you're saying, and how you're going to get there.
It's fun and exciting because you get a new pair of jogging shorts, you get new tennis shoes, you get, some brightly colored, energetic sports shirt at Dick's Sporting Goods. You get all this stuff for Christmas. You're putting it
Yeah.
on. You're like, hey, I'm going to go work out. And I went to Planet Fitness and paid $10 a month to go to the gym. But it takes people statistically, Rob, 9 times to do something before it becomes a new habit, right? So the fact that you need to go to the gym because you're unhappy with your health or your weight or your looks or whatever, for example, that's not really the root of it. The root of it is not just the feeling like, oh, hey, I got new clothes, I got new shoes, I'm ready to go to the gym. You got to look at things a little bit differently. There's five major components that I see that allow people to be successful with a new business, a New Year's resolution, a new anything. Really, one, people don't have a thought out plan with goals. You mentioned goals from Mr. Acuff and his work and in his books he's written. They don't think through, like if they're wanting to lose weight and get a six pack of abs and run a marathon or do something as a New Year's resolution, great.
Yeah.
They don't think through that and lay that out as to how that's going to work. What's going to happen if that doesn't work? How do I surround myself with people that can help do that, because I can't do it on my own? And how do I know if I'm on track with my goals or not? The second thing is the expectations. It's, for most people, it's about a feeling. Oh, I feel good, I got new shoes, I'm ready to go to the gym now. And they go to the gym, they go a few times, and then the habit's not built, the muscle memory, literally, pun intended, is not built. And
Yeah.
so when their boss comes in and says, "Hey, I need you to work an extra 30 minutes today," they stay late, and then, "Oh, I'm tired. I got to go to the house," and and they'll just kind of go by the gym because something's disrupted their their schedule or whatever, and they don't have a way to make that back up or readapt to that. Three, they don't have the discipline to do it. It's not on a calendar, it's not on a schedule, it's
Mm.
not locked into anything where it's in front of them, like, oh, the next thing for me to do today is go to the gym, and where that's consistently planned for, and the discipline is built, the muscle memory is built. The fourth thing is prioritization. Other things start creeping in, other distractions start happening that takes them away from them being focused to that goal. And number five is the accountability, right? They lack the accountability to themselves. They don't bring other people into the mix and be accountable. My wife came to me the other day and she said, "Hey, I've got a really great idea, Jason. One way that we can spend some time together is to run a marathon, because that's a couple of hours of you and me together." And
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, my first thought was, it's not quite what I was thinking when we
Hey,
want
did
to
you know
talk
Forrest
about.
Gump is also 2 hours long? Like that movie's also 2 hours long, honey.
And so I was sitting there listening, and she was talking about it, and as she was talking through it, it was about motivation. It was about accountability. She wanted me to do it with her because she's pumped
Yeah.
up and motivated about it. And she got me pumped up and motivated. And now we're gonna do this together, because she's very competitive. I'm competitive. And if she sees me in the gym working out, or she sees me doing something, she can't sit still. She'll get up. Sunday morning after breakfast, she got up and was down there, pounding on some treadmill time, right? And
Hmm.
so when you're going to do anything in life and you want to be more successful, or you want to accomplish something different from what you may be at today, I encourage you to consider those five factors. If you don't, you run the risk of not actually completing it, and you fall victim to the other 90% of the world, or whatever that statistic is. It's around 90 of the folks that just fizzle out, and they do the same old thing they did, and a year later they look in the mirror and they're like, man, wished I would have done that a year ago.
Yeah. No, it's huge, and all five of those components that you gave, Jason, are extremely critical in not just resolutions, but in life follow through. This is true of personal relationships, business relationships, running a business, and then at a more micro level, the goals that you have in either side, whether it's personal or business. So those five things are huge. And then also too, the other side is like, okay, so let's say you set something up for 2023 and you fail. That's okay too, because failure is a pretty good teacher. But the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing is you can't just throw your hands up and be like, well, I suck, I failed, I'm not going back to it. Like, that's not going to help anything. You have to be able to go back and say, okay, why did I fail? Where did I fall off the trail? Was it accountability? Did I not prioritize something? Did I lack discipline? Did I miss an expectation? Did I not have any thought behind this goal? Did I just say I was going to do it because my neighbor's doing it? Like, those five things that you gave are tremendously important in also assessing why something didn't work out.
That's right. People, again, it goes back to feelings. People are so scared in this day and age of instant gratification and instant access to stuff on social media, and they see people online living the best life ever and going places and doing things, and they think, oh wow, well, they're doing all that, life must be perfect for them, I need to do
Yeah.
that too. And they get caught up in that, and they let that control them. I think a big takeaway here, Rob, is don't let life or other people control you. You take control of it,
Yeah,
and you
absolutely.
define exactly how you want to live, how you want to look, how you want to feel, mind, body, and spirit. And these principles apply to your personal life, your family life, and your business and career. And so be in control. Take the time to break this down, schedule this stuff, and work with people. another takeaway is the most successful people have coaches, have experts around them.
Mm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger had people around him in the gym pushing him to be the best he can be. Tiger Woods has 3 different coaches that help him be a better golfer. Michael Phelps has coaches that help him be the best swimmer in the world.
Yeah.
Bill Gates had business coaches around him helping him make decisions when he was running Microsoft. Alan Mulally at Ford, when he had coaches. The best of the best of the best have coaches. They have experts. They have people that can motivate them, show them different ways, help them overcome obstacles, problem solve, survive, thrive through the things they go through. Because go back to expectations. When people go through things, no matter if it's a New Year's resolution, something simple or minor or big, like a career change or opening up a new business, those things, you're going to have bad days. You're going to fail. You're going to fall down. It's not going to be fun. You're going to be questioning why you're doing it. And those were the times where the grit comes in. Those are the times where people that you wrap yourself around come in and say, you're okay, keep running. You're okay, keep going. Stick to the plan. Do not change the plan.
Yeah. No, that's huge. And that's the biggest thing. You mentioned instant gratification, and then at the end of that, being able to follow through, and like nothing great happens overnight. One of my favorite things I hear people say is, I think there was this movie called The Founder. It was about like the McDonald's brothers and whatnot, but they're recounting this story. I may have told this story before, but basically they're just like, they're talking about all the successes and failures they've had in business. And at the end of the story, they summarize by saying, and there you have it, 20 years later, we're an overnight success. But it was every single failure of restaurant that they had, or not even failure, but it went well, but it didn't go super well, so they just kept going back to the drawing board. And I've seen that here in my company. Like, I've revised the way my podcast studio works 3 times. If I would have just kept the first time, I wouldn't have a business. The second time I'd still have a business, but I'm not happy with it. And the third time, I just changed everything, changed the layout, the organization, how we're doing it, how we're running it, the technology. And there's nothing wrong with going back and saying, hey, this version served us, but there's a better one out there. It's okay to keep improving. And that's something a lot of people miss, is they get to a point and they're like, well, that sucked, I'm just going to give up. It's like, no, just revise it, go back to it, do it again. It's okay to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also another quote similar to your quote. Nothing great happens being in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable. So when you're in the gym, when you're in the business, when you're in whatever part of life you're in, and it gets hard and difficult, people want to give up. Oh, this is hard. Oh my God, I'm running out of time. This isn't going to work. And they try to go back to this instant gratification, like they have something to prove to somebody out there on social media, just so they feel like they're keeping up with the Joneses. But when it gets hard is where the magic actually happens. People should be running to the place of difficulty, because that's where the good Lord's working in your life. We are making the changes. Your muscles, if you're going to the gym, you're not going to grow. You're not going to get in better shape. You're not going to get a 6-pack of abs if your abs aren't sore every once in a while. You've got to endure that pain and discomfort, because doesn't mean it's bad. It just means you're growing. Something's changing, and that's what you want. Nothing great ever happens being in your comfort zone.
I love it. Yeah, there's a reason iron sharpens iron, and it's not like cotton or pillows. It's two equal forces being struck against each other, and that's how that's how a sharp edge is forged.
Yeah, you bet. And so if you're out there today and you're considering options for your 2023, take inventory of 2022, write down all the things that went well, write down all the accomplishments, celebrate that success, give thanks to that over Thanksgiving, give thanks to that over the holidays with your family, because chances are, if you've had any level of success, it's because of the people around you, especially your family, and kind of pay homage to that. But take these principles that Rob and I are talking about today, because we've worked with a lot of different people from a lot of walks of life, and we've seen a few things around this word success. These are powerful. These are some key foundational things that you can take with you and help you be successful, so you don't become a statistic in 2023 that says you're one of the ones that gave up, you're one of the ones that quit. These are powerful. Use them. This is what this podcast is for. If you have any questions, any concerns, you're looking for help, support, resources in any way, shape, or form, feel free to reach out. We have an email listed in the show notes. You can also reach out to soarhirecoaching.com. We're happy to follow up with you and help you in any way we can. We want you to achieve your best. We want you to break out of your comfort zone. We want you to think about what's in the art of the possible for you today, for you to be the best that you can be. Too many times, I talk to people on a daily basis that have settled. They're scared to make a mistake. They're scared to fail. They're scared to do things in life. Don't reach out. We'll help you. 2023 is your big year. There's a lot of positive things going on, regardless of what you see in the news. Get out there and be your best, and do it in an unforgiving manner. You can do it. I know other people have done it. I've done it. Rob's done it. Let's continue to help you do it as well. Look forward to talking with you next time on the Soar Hire podcast.